What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Goat Talk. We got some World Cup news to talk about. Not the best news for Team USA and their ending, but then we still have some massive NBA news to talk about that we were not able to get to last time because the trades didn't happen yet. So let's get into it. You guys want to start with USA? And unfortunately, the boys are out after a 4-1 defeat against Belgium. It was a fun ride. I mean, to say the least, it was a fun ride. And I think the thing that sucks the most is we were what 2-3 minutes away from not even playing Belgium because they were down 2-0 in like the 80 something minute in their last game, and then they came back to win 3-2.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of tough, you know. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Belgium came out with a purpose. They were obviously pissed off with the red card reversal, which I mean, if I was rooting for Belgium, I'd be pretty pissed off too. But at the end of the day, it made no bit of a difference. Unfortunately, we got steamrolled. You
Yeah.
know, they came out as the better team. They ended as a better team. Um, Chris, what do you think? You're a little more in tune with it than I am. What's your thoughts here?
Uh, I mean, leading up to the game, right? We talked about it a little bit, like the red card. There was a ton of off-field distraction stuff that was going on with Balogun, whether or not the president was involved or what have you. That does play a factor, but I think the state, the future is bright for sure, and I don't want to discredit them for anything that we've done. But me personally, looking at that game yesterday, I think it kind of proves to people that there are levels to this shit. And obviously, like soccer or football, however the hell you want to describe it, isn't the most popular sport in the USA. That's always been a thing,
Not
unfortunately.
top three.
Um, yeah,
It's
and so
yeah, it's
I really
climbing
hope,
though.
and what I have been seeing is that this tournament as a whole has helped in the long run. Like, I feel like there are a ton more fans now that there will ever be here in the United States because of this tournament. But again, there's levels to this. Belgium has been doing it forever, and the scariest part is that they did that mostly. I know Lukaku scored in the end, because he was a late sub. He scored in the end, but they didn't even have De Bruyne out there, and I mean, I know he's older, but he's still one of the best midfielders on the planet. Um, but costly mistakes. Pulisic was basically a ghost,
Thank
especially
you.
since he got injured.
Mhm.
But I'm interested to see what happens with him moving forward because he is necessary, for the lack of better description, the golden boy for the United States. He's the best player on the field and practically no-showed almost this entire tournament. He only played in like two or three games. He was out for two of the games, injured, and whether you call him soft, but like he was just a non-factor. Um, there's a lot of building blocks that you can take from this, but in all reality, we're gonna need. I don't think it's going to be a next tournament thing either, unless something drastic happens. I really hope they bring Pochettino back. I think he was a really good fit for this play style that they need, because he's experienced. But it comes down to the talent on the field, and you're just not going to be able. Because even if we beat Belgium, you play Spain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're not
that's a
beating Spain,
buzzsaw.
right?
That's a
exactly.
like
buzzsaw.
like you're not beating France in the final. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I think it was fun while it lasted, and there was definitely some bright signs and stars. Balogun being one of them, Tillman being the other. I
Mhm.
think Freeze had a good tournament up till yesterday,
Yeah.
obviously. And if you want to get into that to me was baffling. I think Tim Ream also had a good tournament as well up until yesterday,
Yeah.
and I think you could say like maybe the lights just got a little bit too bright. And for those dudes in Europe, South America that have been playing this literally since they were 3 and at a competitive high level, probably since they were like 13, it's just another walk in the park, you know? So,
I'm
yeah.
happy that you brought up Pulisic though, because I did want to talk
Hmm.
about that. Because even before he got injured last night,
Hmm.
he was nowhere to be found. Like
Hmm.
every time this had to have been a statement game for him. Like we needed him to go above and beyond and be that guy that we all see him to be. But even when he was losing dribbles all the time, he couldn't hold on to the ball.
Lost possession 11 times. He was the most
Yes.
on the field.
Jesus.
Most on the field.
And that was like even before the whole injury. And like given I know he went out with an injury and like it did look like a bad injury. Like the guy full on kicked the other guy's foot, so I'm sure he messed up his toe, ankle, whatever it was. So it looked like a pretty bad injury, but even before that, he was nowhere to be found. And then even like I think it was what like 2 or 3 minutes into the game, we make a great save, and that just you're in Seattle, so you have the 12th man in the crowd. The crowd's going crazy. We give up the early goal off a stupid mistake. Three defenders just standing there looking at the ball, and then we score to tie it. Momentum's back. Less than 60 seconds later, they score again to take that momentum
Hmm.
away. It was just like we gave them 3 goals last night. Just
Absolutely.
handily handed it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that can speak to what I mentioned earlier where the lights just got a little too bright,
Hmm.
right? Like you have history with Belgium because the last World Cup wasn't the last World Cup. I think it was 20 trying to do math in my head. 2018, 2014. I don't remember which one it was. Whichever one Tim Howard had like the game of his life and had like 20 saves. That was against Belgium. And so there's history there. And for you to practically, besides the free kick, which was a deflection, by the way,
Hmm. Yeah.
pretty much lay a goose egg,
Yeah.
home turf, Seattle, like 12th man, right? So like I don't know. It's there. I think again, there's a good foundation there, but there has to be a shakeup within the talent and how they're bringing these guys in.
Yeah.
Um, and it all starts. I mean, uh, we just talked about him again. Pulisic has to be your guy. He has to be. Okay. People are going to freak out when I make this. He has to be your Messi. He has to be your Ronaldo. I'm not saying on that kind of a level, like of player, but he has to be the guy for this team that is like, okay, we can rely on him. He is our leader. This is who we need to follow into battle. And he needs to lead us in the correct direction. He's not going to have the performances like Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, all those dudes. But could you name me another player that the guys are like, hey, we're gonna hop on this fucking wagon and you're the fucking captain, right?
Well,
And
that's why I think that's a problem because you can't name another guy. But I like Pulisic and everything, but he will never be at a level of Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland. He'll never be at these guys' levels. Like just being realistic.
oh
That's
no,
why like, it's tough
absolutely,
for
and
US.
yeah, and but that's also what I'm saying though is who else is gonna do it? Like you can argue Tillman. Tillman had a great tournament. Um, Balogun, if he comes back, like who knows that whole citizenship thing is weird for me. I don't know exactly how it works honestly because there are people who are born in different countries who have eligibility to play for different teams. I have no idea how that works. Tim Ream, it's probably his last World Cup.
Yeah.
Um, like who is going to be that leader? And the only person that you could probably consistently name is Pulisic.
Yeah.
But you know, he has to be that captain. He has to be that leader to say, guys, it's tough right now. Like after those first 2 goals early, right? You gotta pick up the pace, and he was still just nowhere to be seen, losing the ball on the wing, making errant passes. I think the midfield as a whole was dreadful.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer on what they have to do. And I don't want to be the person to make those decisions because I think it's not going to be for the next tournament. We're still probably a tournament or two away to being a real contender, if at all.
Yeah.
I think.
I do like how you said to like we bring back coach, right? Because coach was great. Coming out of halftime, we made great second half adjustments. Like the beginning of the second half, like it looked like a complete different team on that field. Like we had better possessions. We were able to get into their zone more. There was times where
And they saw
into our
Pulisic
zone.
off, bring in
Well, yeah,
Burkholder, and he was amazing.
yeah. I just
So
there's a lot that needs to be done. And hopefully it is done in the future because obviously we'd love to see USA be a top contender. Um, but now I want to
oh my
ask you
God, a
guys,
USA World Cup final? Are you kidding me? Oh,
it'd be insane. Like it would be insane. But now with US out, I'm curious on who you guys are kind of pulling for to win the whole thing now. I got my top four.
Pulling, well, pulling is different than who I think. I mean, I think we all agree. I think we all know who we think is going to win. If I had to predict, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I think there's only one true absolute hammer this World Cup, and that's France. I mean, I'm not saying I want them to win. In my opinion, though, they are the team to beat. They are ridiculous. I mean, that's just my take. I mean, there are some other very good teams as well, right? We talk about teams like Norway, right? We talk about teams like Argentina, which we will definitely touch on soon. Um, there are some very good teams. Spain, we already mentioned,
Mhm.
but for me, just as who I would like to see, I don't want to say necessarily I'm pulling for Argentina, but it would be amazing if Messi won again. So that just it would just the debate would end. It should be over as it is. Us with
Yeah, I
USA,
don't think there is a
it's
debate
over in my
anymore.
opinion. But
Yeah.
if he wins
it
again, there is nothing to even talk about.
it would be that the Argentina France thing would be like Jordan first versus the Jazz, right? Like had all those great players. You have Stockton, you have Malone, you have all those guys. But guess who's in the fucking way? Guess
MJ
who's in the
Messi.
fucking way? Messi. It's like, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, but we might as well dive into it now. That game today, if you didn't watch, was ridiculous. And I think this tournament and this especially the knockout stages of this tournament are making so many fans out of people
Mhm.
here in the United States. Like look at some of these fucking games that are happening. We have the game from today, the Cape Verde game against Argentina.
Argentina's
Every
having the best
every
games this tournament.
every single game thus far in the knockouts has gone penalties, has been decided in extra time, or have gone to extra time and then won in extra time. It's
Except for
like
USA.
it doesn't
Yeah,
get better.
literally, besides you,
Except for us.
Yeah, except yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. But it's so awesome to see this high level of competition, right? And you know, Messi's gonna Messi. I agree with you in the sense that France is just a boat and just a powerhouse, and it's gonna be very tough. A team that I would honestly love to see win it would be Norway. That
Mhm.
would be so fucking cool,
And they
man.
could
Oh
too.
my
They
god.
could.
I
Like
would like to
Erling
see Norway.
Haaland, and I hate him. I hate him because he plays for City, and I'm a Liverpool fan. But oh my God, is he so freaking good? He is. It is amazing to watch him. He doesn't do much all game. It's ridiculous.
I watched like so like the goal he had last game. Right, he kind of like lollygags around the field, and then next thing you know, boom, he's got the header for the goal. And I saw somebody like explain this in like other terms, and it was perfect. It was like Ovechkin on the power play. It was literally just that perfect like comparison because that's exactly what it was. But I know we
Jaunty in the
talked.
backfield, just standing there like Michael Myers, and all of a sudden he breaks for like a 40
Yeah,
yard run.
he's. I would like to see either Messi win another one, or I think
Oh,
I would like to see Norway win to see it. Like that would just be really cool to see them win. But I know we kind
oh
of
my God.
very briefly just brought up the kind of debate, which I don't think there is a debate anymore.
There's not.
But did you guys
Stop.
see after Portugal lost the interview with Ronaldo and what he said?
I did not hear it.
I didn't hear about this.
Let's
He
bring it on.
said that, not quote for quote, 'cause I don't remember the exact quote, but I know he mentioned that he won with like as country in Portugal, they won the Euros, and that's basically the same tournament as the World Cup.
Well,
Euros
Europe is
is
one continent.
it's a very tough tournament. It's probably the best teams in the world in that tournament, but this is the World Cup. Like this is the biggest soccer tournament. Like there's just like kind of like Chris said, like there's levels. Like yes, congratulations on winning the Euros. That is a big deal, but this is the World Cup. And I just think that's like he's just like deflecting because he doesn't really have anything else to say. On top of that, somebody put out what is Ronaldo's greatest achievement so far in like his career and everything. And the best reply I saw was being compared to Messi.
That's valid though.
It's just
Like
so
that's and
true.
that's a legit compliment.
Literally, yeah.
That's
The
a
fact
very
that
big compliment.
there was a debate for years, but to me, that debate should never be had again. Like Messi is the guy. Messi is the GOAT, hands
I
down.
think once 2022 ended, that debate was put to bed when he won the World Cup. Then, in my opinion, I think it was officially put to bed. Now he's just adding more layers to it.
Yeah, I mean he's
Yeah,
Just
say
kind of
so
how I
he's
see it.
got now he leads the tournament with 8 goals.
and he's 38, by the way.
Hmm.
Like I know Ronaldo's older, but he's
Not by
only
Which
older
is
much.
by
even
like
more
2
impressive.
years,
That's
Yeah.
even more
right?
impressive, actually, because you have more to go.
Yeah. So as I watched soccer growing up from a pretty young age, I've always played it. Um, I you can talk about the goals, the accolades, the Ballon d'Ors, the World Cups, all that stuff. But if you've never watched like Real Madrid Barcelona back in the early 2010s, mid 2010s, you would understand pretty quickly right off the bat who the better player was. Messi is the best player on a team full of the best players in the world, right? Like that midfield is one of the best ever, and if not the best ever. And the way that he dominated that said midfield, he's a magician. He knows what you're gonna do 3 steps before you know what you're gonna do, and he's gonna pick you out for it. And Ronaldo, granted, he is an. I'm not saying he's not an outstanding player because he is. He's one of the best players of our time, but he can't do the things that Messi can do as a pure player. Like he can pass it, he can dribble it, create space for himself. Um, Arguably one of the best passers ever. Some of the shit that he thinks of and that he creates from nothing is just out amazing to me. And Ronaldo can do that, but I think there's also a thing that he chooses not to do that because he's like, I'm gonna go score
He's
the
more
goal,
selfish.
even though my teammates here. I selfish. I think is
It's a tough word to say.
it sounds harsh. It sounds harsh, but I think it's an accurate depiction
Let me,
of
yeah.
what
Let me,
of how he was.
yeah. Let me rephrase that. Selfish might not be the right word, but he's not as team oriented, in my opinion, in terms of getting his teammates involved when winnings on the line than someone like
Correct.
Messi. Ronaldo, I think, was more of a score first guy. Messi is just more of a win first guy, if that makes sense.
And the reason why I think that's unfair is because the way that they played the game, like Ronaldo was brought into that Real Madrid team to be a goal scorer, right? Like, and I'm not saying that Messi wasn't brought in to be a goal scorer, but Messi did have like a position change, quote unquote. When Pep slid him back to more of a wing slash midfielder instead of just a striker, you saw how good he made everybody else around him. And I think that's what separates Ronaldo from Messi is that he just makes everybody around him so much better while Ronaldo makes them better, but he's always going to make himself better first.
No, that's
I
valid.
don't know if
Very
that
valid.
makes any
Yeah.
sense, but yeah. So I never thought it was a debate either. I always enjoyed watching Messi more than Ronaldo.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, and especially what he's doing now at the time that he's doing it at 38 years old, his what? I don't even know how many World Cup he's been in. It is a pleasure to watch.
Yeah,
That it
to
is.
say the least, literally.
Mhm.
Jumping over to NBA, because NBA has been crazy since the last time we were able to film. I don't even know. Do you guys want to start with your Celtics, Chris? Because we got Jaylen Brown, LaMelo Ball,
Oh, we might be here a
Kawhi.
while.
We
We're
we
gonna be
have
here a
a
while.
lot to talk.
Top tier.
So you know what? Let's save Jaylen Brown for last, and we'll deep dive into that one. We got Kawhi going back to the Raptors. You got LaMelo going to Minnesota, and I feel like there was another big one that I'm missing out
There
on.
is the best shooter, bang bang, John Morant, the
John
Portland
Morant going to
Trailblazers.
Portland. Yeah, that's right.
Bang bang.
Oh my god.
I think, to me personally, I think the biggest shocker, quote unquote, would have to be LaMelo going to Minnesota.
Didn't really make sense and still kind of doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, I low key. I it's been a little bit less as I've looked at it more, but I think honestly, I think it's more of a win for the Hornets in a sense.
Really?
I do. LaMelo is hurt a lot, and when he's on the court, he's obviously a very impactful player. Now, I will say this: watching LaMelo and Anthony Edwards together might be the funniest shit you'll ever see in basketball. Just their interviews and just their personalities might be is going to be absolutely hilarious. Um, they're just fools, but I love it. But having said that, the Wizards are not Wizards. Excuse me. The Hornets are so young and they're just getting more and more picks too. I think they're building around Khan, right? Like Kneppel, and that's a good guy to start building around. I don't know if they're going to be, they're not going to be contenders in my opinion next year, but they're a team that I'm going to watch out for the next 5 years. A little bit interesting to see what's going on there. So that's an interesting trade. It didn't make much sense to me, in all honesty.
I thought it was just kind of interesting though how like we've talked about the Hornets in past episodes during the when the season was going on and how they were such a fun young team to watch. They were in the play-in. They had that talent, they had potential. And then I don't want to say I don't think blow it up is the correct term, but like for them to just like sell most of their top guys, I was pretty surprised at the offseason that they're having so far.
Especially with how good they ended it last year, right?
Yeah.
Like
They were hot.
you would think you would want to build a little bit of momentum from that push at the end there that they had. And not saying that they can't do it again, but like LaMelo was a pretty important player for them, right? And I know you probably got a lot from him. It was probably an overpay by the Timberwolves a little bit, but I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me for the Hornets. I don't know if MJ's back in the front office. I don't know if he is or not, but it doesn't really make any sense to me why they would move on from a guy that literally probably a year ago they were worrying about building the team around him. And so I don't know. Yeah, It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a weird trade all around that I don't really
I agree.
agree with, to be honest. I don't think it needed to happen.
Definitely didn't have it. Like when I saw the notification from Bleach Report, I was just like, I didn't even think that was in the cards,
Yeah,
like at all. So
literally.
yeah,
And then, I mean, so then we have Kawhi going back to Toronto, where obviously he is loved because he won a championship there and
I love
everything.
that trade for the Raptors personally.
So I would agree with you. I think that was a great trade for them. I think it's going to be fun to see Kawhi going back to Toronto. Do you think that, again, I don't think this is the right term. I don't want to say contenders, but do you think that this puts the Toronto, do you think this puts the Raptors as like a, I guess, team to watch out for?
In a sense, not. I'm not saying they're going to be the end all be all. What I will say though is their defense is going to be nuts with Kawhi and Scotty Barnes. Those are two of the top defenders and just two of the top players in general. In all honesty, do I think they're going to be a top three team in the East? No, because
Yeah.
the bottom line is Kawhi is a load management king, so he's not going to be playing all those games. He's not. I mean, let's call it what it is. He's the
That's
one that he
yeah.
basically invented load management, in my opinion. He's the founding father of load management. So he's going to play 50 games if he's, at best, I think, 50, 60 games. Um, but Toronto did end up giving up people like Brandon Ingram, who is a bucket, and hilarious name, Grady Dick, whoever that is, and a couple of picks. My only concern with this, too, besides Kawhi's injuries, is he only has 1 year left on his deal. So I do understand that he actually was. I think the only team he waived his no trade clause for is actually for the Raptors. So he did want to be here.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to think if he bails on them again after 1 year or he sticks around. I'm not sure, but I do think
How
it's
old is
interesting.
he?
But however, I think they need more. Kawhi, I don't know.
It's got a
Let me
mid
go for you right now.
30s, young 30s.
It's got to be right. 35. Yep. So he just turned 35. I could see him getting 2 to 3 years because think about it, he's gonna get probably 50 million a year still.
Yeah. And I mean, so
Crazy.
now even if they, right, we're not expecting them to reach the conference finals this year or anything like that, but if they were to make the playoffs, and they get bounced, and then whatever, he resigns for another 2, 3 years, never wins another title though, but continues to be in the playoffs. Do you think that he like kind of solidifies that he retires a Raptor, or do you think there is a chance that he can retire a Spur? Because he won a title with them too.
No, he's not retiring with the Spurs. He
You
he
don't
he
think so?
has some issues with that organization. Oh God, yeah. I don't know what he team retired. That's actually a great question because there's no. If he stayed with the Raptors longer, yeah, his best year was with Toronto,
Yeah.
but and he has issues with the Spurs. I don't know. I think honestly, it might be the Clippers right now, which is kind of weak to say.
Who won MVP that year?
What the year
The
that they won the
Toronto year.
championship? Giannis.
It was Giannis.
Yeah, it was Giannis.
Should have been fucking
Facts,
Kawhi.
facts.
I mean, I know Giannis probably was gonna
Giannis
win
was the
it.
better player that year, in all honesty, but Kawhi just in the playoffs was better than anyone else by a mile in the
Mhm.
playoffs. But it's a regular season award.
Yeah, true.
Um, I do want to touch on one thing, if you guys don't mind. It's about basketball, but it's not about a trade. It's about a signing today. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Huge one, Donovan Mitchell. Do you guys see that signing
Oh,
today?
yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, he got the bag.
Yep.
Ready
Was
for
it
this?
extension? How long was it?
Yes, 4 years, 273 million.
Yeah. I did see that. I actually forgot about that. I did see that and I
Yep,
completely forgot about
40
that.
years,
Yeah.
273. I think that is equivalent to. I don't even know. Let me look that up. Jesus,
It's got to be close
like
to what, 60 mil a year?
wait, hold on.
It's got to be up there.
Divided by 4. This can't be right. This can't be right. It's saying 118 million. There's no way.
A year?
There's no way. Wait, what am I looking up?
No,
Oh, I'm
it
an idiot. I
was
looked
it
up
was,
Oh
473.
my god.
I'm an idiot, bro. I'll just go. Yeah, yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I was just no
You're
shot
right.
he's making
You're
100
right.
million a
You're right.
year.
That makes sense. Now it makes more
Holy
sense. 68
shit.
million a year.
yeah,
68 million.
60.
That's still a lot of
Yeah.
fucking money, bro.
That's Jaylen
Holy
Brown
shit.
money.
This is
Yeah.
why I teach phys ed, guys. Sorry, math isn't my strong suit. Yeah, but honestly, as crazy as that deal is, the way the NBA is right now, it's not for him. He deserves it. I mean, nobody deserves that much money, but in terms of like whatever else he's getting, he deserves it. He's a top 15 player in the league. You don't think so, Chris? Let me see what you hear. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Go.
I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell, and I think he's always been one of my favorite players to like watch. He's very intense. Do you feel comfortable paying that much money to somebody who more or less kind of can disappear it sometimes? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of the way, especially with their playoff runs. I feel like sometimes he tends to disappear the past couple seasons that he's been in
To be fair, I
Cleveland.
think that's due. I think this past year was more due to the fact of a certain bearded motherfucker who always disappears in the playoffs. That's James
Little
Harden, by the way.
fatty.
In case you didn't know, fat suit James Harden. Yep. Um, but I'm not here to say I like the deal because $68 million a year is absurd. But that's kind of just how it goes nowadays with NBA players that are in the top tier. I saw a report earlier about Jokic potentially next year going to be able to qualify for like 5 years in 300 in the mid 300s. Like it's just kind of the way it's going now, you know. Um, I like it. He averaged 28 a year last year. You gotta lock up your guy, and especially hint. I don't know if this is true though. If LeBron's going back to Cleveland on a league minimum, which he's willing to take, from what I'm hearing, it could be a thing. Who knows? He's not liking LeBron needs money.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see him going back to Cleveland. And then, like you just said, if he does go back there and now you're pairing him with Donovan Mitchell for a team that
He
was
wants the best
just,
chance to win.
yeah, for a team that was just made a deep run into the playoffs, like I like it too. I think it's smart on their part. I think that they needed to do it. And I like the
Yeah,
money.
you can't let him go.
Exactly. Because then you have nobody.
If you let him go, the fan base is gonna burn down.
Yeah.
They already did
Yeah.
with LeBron back in the day, so.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I think, all right, so now the biggest trade, I would say, at least for this podcast, that's happened this
Oh, here we
off
go.
season.
I almost forgot.
Jaylen Brown gets dealt to not even a different conference, a different division. He gets dealt to a team that knocked them out of the playoffs, and you would say a rival. Jaylen Brown has been traded to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh,
Chris,
100% you would.
I mean, I, Chris, just take it away because I need to hear this.
Go ahead, full
Okay.
speed.
So I was enjoying a lovely leisurely stroll in the woods playing disc golf when this trade broke. And I can pretty much tell you it broke every aspect of calmness and insanity that I had pretty much as soon as I read it. And I don't know who it might have been you, Greg. It was probably you, Greg. I don't remember exactly who texted me first to let me know about it. Um, so here's my 2 cents. I think the relationship deteriorated too much for it to be salvageable. So I was fully prepared for him to be gone regardless.
Yes.
So I don't think the fact that he got traded was a shocker or I was pissed off about, just because I think the way that the organization handled themselves, how they talked about him, how he views himself, I think the relationship was dog shit anyways, and I just don't think he was going to come back. Now, to the part that pisses me off is that Joey, you nailed it on the head. You trade him you can say that Jaylen Brown's your best player on one of your best players on your team, if not the best player on the team right now because Tatum's injury. We don't know. Um, Obviously, he missed the entirety of last season. You don't know what player you're gonna really get now. Obviously, he's still probably gonna be a really fucking good top 10 player in the NBA. But last year, Jaylen Brown was the best player on your team. Was in the MVP conversation there for a while. The shit that he did to carry that team of Spanish European dudes to literally the second best record in the East. And then you make the playoffs and you're up 3-1 on the 76ers and then you lose that series and then you trade him to that team that just bounced you from the playoffs and made them significantly better, not just a little bit better, significantly better. And to get how old's Paul George? 2 years younger than Dirt. I have no fucking idea
Who
how
cares?
old
He's
he
never
is.
healthy.
And he's and it has to be a money thing. That's literally the only thing that I can think of that. But even then, you would have paid Jaylen Brown like $68 million a year. I believe that's what's remaining on that contract. Is he's pretty much going to be making 68-70 million dollars a year for the rest of that contract. You go get Paul George, who is probably going to be like he'll probably start because it's a respect play because he's been in the fucking NBA forever. But you're going to pay him like $54 million a year. So granted, you're saving money, but you're getting a way lesser version of like if it was like OKC Paul George, or if it was like last year Indiana Pacers Paul George.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, if it was
okay,
Indiana, Paul
I
George,
I
you're
get
good
that,
to go.
but you're talking about in. I don't know if they just saw something when he was dropping 30 a game on us in the playoffs. Like, but you have to imagine what they got back for Jaylen Brown is absurd. And it just can't get over the fact that out of all the teams that you could have traded him for, or two, Philly,
Doesn't make
like
sense.
your I don't want to say arch rival, but for the past like 5-6 years, your fucking arch rival. You always meet them in the playoffs. They're always good series. They're always intense games. Even though the Celtics have come out on top for the past couple years pretty handedly, it's your division, still in the East, and it's a team that just ran you off your home court, for the lack of better terminology, and you just made them significantly better. I'm a Brad Stevens guy through and through, and I it's going to be hard to defend this one come playoff time when Jaylen Brown's given us 40 and we have no fucking answer for it. Yeah. Before I blow a gasket, please, Greg, just fucking take over.
Yeah, like Chris, you might want to cover your ears because I'm gonna just shit on the Celtics for this more. Like,
No, no, by all means, sir.
like it doesn't really make sense to me. Like from the moment this trade happened up until right now, the Celtics lost this trade.
Oh yeah.
Like, yes, you were gonna at this point, in my god honest opinion, I think they had to trade Jaylen Brown, not because of him as a player, because of the damage that the Celtics organization has done by putting him in trade talks for the last like what 3 or 4 years. Like they honestly not even low key disrespected him. And this guy has turned into like from a decent role player when he first came into the league to a top tier player, in my opinion, top 15 player in the league, arguably at this point. Actually, not even arguably, top 15 player, 30 a game. Um, they were disrespecting him. Having said that, yes, at that point they should have traded him. Why you go to the team that beat you might be the dumbest fucking decision I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't. Nothing adds up. First of all, you probably could have gotten a lot better offers from different teams, right? But you ended up getting Pandemic P, washed up Paul George, the motherfucker who, in 10 years ago, whatever it was, blew up his leg. Now, that's no disrespect to him, but he was never the same athlete in a sense after that injury. That was 10 years ago when he was much younger. Now he's a part-time player, worse than Kawhi in that aspect of being a, you know, of being a part-time player and load management. But you didn't get enough back. You did not get enough back. And if you want my honest opinion, right? My hot take, I think they should have traded Tatum instead. Not, I mean, at this point, let me before you blow your head out of your mind, Chris. When he tore his Achilles, I truly think Jaylen Brown's a better fit for the team. I do. I like his play style better than Tatum's. I don't. Tatum's a great player. Don't get me wrong. That's not really up for debate. I would rather have built around Jaylen Brown. That's my opinion. Now the Celtics already burned that bridge though a while back, so trading him was the move. But the way they went about it, like, there's no chance of him signing back with the Celtics ever again, in my opinion. Jaylen Brown, he's done with them. It sucks just the way it went out because I actually, as a New York sports guy, hate the Sox, hate the Patriots, don't hate the Celtics. So it just, yeah, Joey, send it.
I mean, I don't disagree with your take, right? On which they should have traded Tatum over Brown. Brown's the better fit. I could see that. I could definitely see that being a possibility. Brown is very good. But like both of you just said, like that bridge was burned. He was gone regardless of if it was Philly, if it was any other team in the league, like he was gone. He was not returning. He was not playing another game in that Boston green. But like we all just said, to Philly makes zero sense. Like
Paul George makes no sense.
I'm so curious on what other offers that they had on the table. I really am because I could almost guarantee that every other offer on that table was better than the one that Philly gave them.
So ready? I can almost, in my opinion, I'm going to think about a trade that we talked about last time we were here. Why didn't they just work a deal out with Milwaukee to get Giannis?
Because they weren't willing to give up Hugo Gonzalez. That's the reason.
Is that like
And
that's like a confirmed reason?
that is the reason.
Wait, okay, I might be just stupid. Who's that?
Well,
Exactly.
that literally, yeah, no, literally, Greg, like that literally answers it.
No,
Like
I'm not
that's
trying to be a
really
dick,
the
but
deciding factor.
I hold on. I remember seeing the report. I think it was
what do you
Windhorse.
mean? Who didn't want to wait? Who didn't want to give him up? Celtics?
The Celtics didn't want to include him in a trade for Giannis.
Who is
It
he?
would have been
That makes
Jalen.
no sense.
It was Jaylen Brown, Hugo Gonzalez, and like 3 draft picks. Hold on.
That actually makes less sense than trading Jaylen Brown to Philly. Like what?
Bro, he averaged 3.9 points a game.
Hold on. I'll literally pull it up.
What? There's no way that was deciding.
Nuh-uh. No.
Maybe from Milwaukee, maybe Milwaukee was like, yeah, we don't want that guy.
Here we go.
Don't.
Here we go. While Boston aggressively pursued Giannis with a package centered around Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks, the Bucks also demanded highly touted young prospects such as Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman, and more draft capital. The Celtics drew a line and refused to part with those additional assets.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what they're doing
Like
in Boston.
it doesn't. It does not make, dude.
And this is what I'm
All right,
saying. Like
Chris.
I've loved thus far up till this offseason everything that Brad Stevens has done. Arguably single-handedly won us that championship with making those trades, having the balls to trade Marcus Smart, getting Derek White over here. Like that takes nuts to trade a guy like Marcus Smart. And literally we see it happen in like a matter of literally a week and a half. You've pissed that all down the drain. Now, like, what do you play for this next year? Like I mean, I know they signed Mitchell Robinson and everything, but like he's not going to be your difference maker. He's not going to replace
No.
a Jaylen Brown. Like, and
Yeah.
who knows if Tatum's like? I know he was out with a knee injury. He bitched out a game 7 with a knee injury. So like, what what version of Tatum are you going to get? That's still kind of up in the air because he doesn't have a really whole ton of games under his belt since tearing his Achilles.
And he can get
Um,
hurt again.
and then now basically what you're saying is you're relying and basing your entire roster and your future hopes and dreams off of a 3 point per game Hugo Gonzalez and Bailey Shireman. And you're not willing to sacrifice that to get probably the one of the best top 5, top 10 players of the last decade. I don't know. That really doesn't make sense to me. But again, I work for the federal government. I am not a front office manager of a professional sports team. What the fuck do I know? I think everything is going towards analytics, anyways. Everybody's taking the baseball approach now. It's all analytics, all analytics, and that was another big thing about Jaylen Brown. Why he was so disgruntled, a lot of people counted him out because the analytics didn't go in his favor. I'm just like, shut up, dude. If
Yeah.
Can you stop looking at doing math and just look at the game, watch the game, and how
Eyeballs.
people impact games? Like, come on. It's, I don't know. But yeah, anyways,
Well,
dilly dilly fuck Philly.
Fuck
And
Boston.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm so lost by that trade. It just makes no sense. I've literally had almost a week to marinate it and just really think about what the angle is. Like, I haven't even convinced myself that it's the money reason. Like, you might as well get something out of him now before he just walks because you can't afford to re-sign him. But I really don't know. I don't know. Did they just want is Brad Stevens from Philly? Like I have no fucking idea. Like it's where's Butler? Butler's in Indiana, so that wouldn't mean anything. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. You just made a team that wiped the floor with your ass in 5 games in the playoffs, and you just made them significantly better. And have also probably included them in the LeBron sweepstakes. So they're probably not done. So, like, what the fuck, bro? I don't know.
I mean, before we wrap this up, I know Chris, you kind of just mentioned it really quickly. Um, Mitchell Robinson signed with the Celtics. Love Mitch. Love everything he did for the Knicks. He was a huge part of the Knicks win their first championship in 53 years. But like Josh Hart said, he is now the biggest op in the city. I really hope that the first time the Celtics come to the Garden next year, immediately just foul Mitch. Make him shoot free throws.
Every
Make him shoot
the
free throws
applause that he would
immediately.
get is unbelievable.
Oh
And
man,
he'll get applauded too. They're
absolutely,
not
and
gonna
he
boo him.
deserves to be. He deserves to be.
100%. He wanted to stay too.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing that his comment, I think it was to OG or something like that, or a
I
cat.
think
It
yeah,
was cat or one of them.
someone either Josh Hart, OG, doesn't matter. One of the Knicks.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, hopefully, like the truth comes out or something." It's like, ooh, yeah. I mean, we've
It looks
heard
bad for
about,
the Knicks too, though. But
yeah, I mean, we've heard about problems in their office and whatnot for years, so
oh,
it's really not a surprising.
I don't really care what you say. Dolan is not a good owner. He
No,
just happened to
no,
get the right people there.
yes, I agree with that. But
So
it's a tough week, really, besides baseball. We still have the World Cup on, although the US is out, but we have the World Cup, we have baseball. So I'm kind of interested to see what's going to happen here. Greg, what do you got for the ball bet?
it's been a little bit. I feel like it's been a while, but as usual, I shave my head. Baldy is shiny. We good to go. Bald bet. We're going back to the World Cup, baby. All
Okay.
right. I mean, it'd be cool to bet for the U.S. Can't do that right now. All right. However, bald bet for this one right now. is going to involve a team that, in my opinion, has been the most entertaining by far this World Cup. I think you know where I'm going. It also involves a country that is neutral in everything, Switzerland, who is going to lose to the GOAT on Saturday in Argentina. Give me Argentina over Switzerland on Saturday's World Cup game in the quarterfinals. Right? I think it's going to be a tough one. Right? You can't count anyone out at this point. Right?
Not in
But
this
between the
tournament.
last few games, yeah, no. Between the last game prior to today's of Argentina versus Cape Verde, which was one of the best games I've seen in soccer in history for soccer, in my opinion. And then today's game, right, where Argentina is down 2-0 with like 12, 13 minutes left in the game, come back and win the game 3-2. Obviously, Messi's in there to score the second goal to tie it up. Like you can't count this team out. Kind of reminds me of Tom Brady in football. I hate to say it, but you just can't count them out. Chris, stop smiling. Shut the hell up. But it's like you can't count them out. You can't count Messi out. He is the GOAT. Today's another example. This didn't put him over the edge because he's been over the edge. This just solidifies it even more so. But bottom line, Saturday on 9 o'clock Eastern time. Give me Argentina over Switzerland.
All right. Well, I love the pick. And just kind of a little backpack off that. Saturday is going to be insane. At 5 o'clock Eastern
Agrega.
time, you have Norway and England. And then at
Oh,
nine
what a
o'clock,
game that's going
you
to be.
have Argentina and Switzerland. Like, what a day for the World Cup Saturday is going to be.
Yeah, and then
Unbelievable.
and then I just
And then you
said
have McGregor.
McGregor's back on Saturday. Have Paddy the Baddy.
I
The
mean,
Irish
we
boys are out. The Irish are running wild.
we don't have that much time
Yeah,
left.
he's not
I mean,
Irish.
Sorry.
maybe we get together again sometime this week and release a UFC thing before Saturday's card. But just real quick, there's no shot McGregor wins this fight. I'll leave it at that. We'll
Shut
leave
your
it at
fucking
that for
mouth.
now. Like I said,
Matt believes he wins.
maybe we'll get together for like 10 minutes this week and we'll put something quick and short out about this UFC card coming up and McGregor's return and everything. I think that'd be fun to
Yeah,
do.
fuck you.
Um, and until then, thank you everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. As always, keep following, stay on this journey with us. And until then, see you next time.